It's Friday night, everybody. You know what that means. It's Friday night. Let's have some fun. Let's get together and play a ton.
Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm John.
And we're
Friday Night Games.
We want to immerse you into our love of the hobby by educating and entertaining you through our board gaming adventures. Our podcast lands every Friday, and we create content for Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Welcome to our 100th episode.
Woo!
This episode is sponsored by TabletopRenaissance.ca, located in our hometown of Windsor, Ontario, Canada. They have launched their web store, so check out TabletopRenaissance.ca for your board game and tabletop miniature needs.
So on today's show, we have a very special bonus episode from the Last Game Standing series. I know I said it was 5 episodes, so it's actually 6. So just in case you're wondering, Last Game Standing, we started with 5 games from 5 content creators, and a game was voted off each week until there was only 1 game left. And what was that game, John?
That game was Rallyman GT, which was elected by Room 51.
Nice. So on the last show, we had guests Megan and Tristan from Girl Meets Nerd to help us vote off Not the Worst Hipster Board Game of 2020. And that was Rallyman GT, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so we hope everyone really enjoyed the last 5 episodes. Matt did a ton of work for it, and I did absolutely nothing. It was a huge collaboration between some amazing content creators that we love, and we had a ton of fun trash-talking each other.
Yes, we did.
So we had some great moments that, Matt didn't think would vote off games, but
yeah, I did. And then when I prepared to vote off the games, then I didn't. So
yeah.
It's like, what is going on here?
So on today's show, we are joined by 2 very special guests. We have Janelle, who is EmotionalCyborg on Instagram, and Matthias, who's EvilJerkGamer on Instagram. So welcome.
Yay.
We really appreciate, the support that the 2 of you give us. Janelle, when you were hanging out with us on Twitch, and Matthias, where you share all our podcasts on Instagram, we really do appreciate it. So we wanted to kind of do a little recap, see what you thought of the Last Game Standing.
Yeah, don't hold back either.
Yeah, and then if you want to rip on us or tell us we did a good job, we'll
tell us
do whatever.
We didn't. We don't care.
So we're gonna see what they thought about the games that were chosen, what their favorite or least favorite moments were, what we did well, what we could improve for next time, give us some advice on future series, and they can ask us some questions later.
Cool.
Yeah.
Matt actually pays me to share your post on Instagram, so
that's all right. Comes out of his money, out of his pocket.
Yeah.
He's late on a few payments.
Yeah. You'll see those payments in a bit there, Matthias.
Okay.
All right. So where can everyone find both of you on Instagram?
I am EvilJerkGamer.
Nice.
That's the only place I'm at. I'm not on Twitter or anything like that, so
Excellent.
just Insta.
And I'm EmotionalCyborg.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you for just following along and hanging out with us and cheering us on. Fans like you guys really make us do what we want to do, and I thought it'd be really cool to reach out to you and have you guys on the show and get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, so before we get a little bit started here, I'm going to direct some fun questions. So the first thing I wanted to mention is Matthias got some love the other day. You were on Redford Rants, the board dad. Did you see that?
I did. I saw it.
Did you know you're going to be on that? Did he tell you?
Yeah, Roland emailed me and asked if he could, Rolando, I think is how you pronounce his name. He asked if he could roast me. I was like, sure. That's pretty much game night every time I game. So
Bring it
all
on.
me and my friends do is just rip on each other the whole time we're gaming. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I normally don't watch a lot of those videos, but I went into it and I saw your name and I'm like, what? It blew me away. I'm like, this is amazing. It's like you're getting a little bit of celebrity love in the board game world because of your
a little bit, yeah.
your sarcastic wit on your posts, I think. It was what he was.
Yeah, you either love me or hate me. Most people hate me, but that's okay.
I think I like when you when there's giveaways, you're like, it's mine, stay away.
Yeah. Piss off. I've actually had as a reviewer, I've actually had companies say you should change your name and then we'll send you a game, and I'm like, no, I don't need your game that bad.
I like that. That's awesome, Janelle. We're very sorry. I think we already apologized, but we're Canadians, so we're gonna apologize all the time. You were our elite viewer of our Twitch stream. Jason, too, when he had some time. So we're really sorry. Do you accept our apology on the air?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
You
we
don't
just-
have to put yourself out for me.
No, we like just one day like just abruptly stopped doing Twitch.
It's true. I remember because Matt was saying something and he got interrupted, and I really wanted to know what he was gonna say, and I was like, I'll just ask him next time. And there wasn't a next time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was kind of sad too because we actually upgraded our equipment, and then
Well, what happened was we were
COVID
supposed
happened. Really,
Yeah, we were supposed to have a guest on to play a game, but
Right.
that company decided to shut down,
That
so
was
they canceled it.
Story Machine Games.
Yeah, Story
Oh,
Machine
no.
Games. So
Oh
that,
yeah.
yeah, so that's what happened, and then we were kind of like, well, I guess this is just kind of our way out.
Yeah, it was kind of weird too because at that point we were getting a lot more publishers being like, "Hey, we want to play games on your stream with you,"
Yeah.
and I don't know. So, Janelle, what are you watching then?
Just Gamecasters. Well, and
Oh,
I
that's
lurk
nice.
on the charity board gamers sometimes.
Oh, nice.
Nice, yeah.
So let's get down to it. Let's rip
Sweet.
on the last game standing.
Yeah, I'll just sit back.
So we sent you the last episode, which hasn't aired yet. Did you have a chance to listen to it?
Yeah.
I've never heard your podcast ever.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I
Good.
Perfect.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Where am I?
Where-
All right, so I just want to say again, thanks, Matt, for coming up with that idea, writing all the stuff out.
What do you want?
Nothing. But yeah, I just appreciate that you did all that work, and I just had to show up.
Yeah.
Yep, good job, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what did you like or not like about the games that were chosen? Like what? Rallyman GT, Castles of Tuscany, Fort.
Aeon's an Outcast and Merv.
There we go.
I would say the only one I'd ever actually played was Fort,
Okay.
and I'm not a huge fan of Fort. I don't know that I agree with the winner because I hate dice chuckers like with a passion.
All right, fair.
Any game that's based on luck is not going to be a game for me because my luck is terrible. My group, they play Dice Throne, I swear, just to piss me off because that game is just Battle Yahtzee is not for me.
They know you're
Battle
They know
Yahtzee.
you're rolling ones all the time. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
So,
they just and they like snicker when they pull it out, and they just kind of look at me, and I'm like, you sons of.
I really liked this idea, and when I heard the 5 games, I was like, "What?" They were all 5 of them were games I'd completely written off for
Oh,
one
really?
reason or another.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Like I actually had a whole different list. If you listen to like the 0 episode, but
Yeah.
like I had a whole different list. And honestly, at one point, I'm just like this idea has to like go through. And I'm just like, you guys just pick a game. Everyone just pick a game. Like I don't care at this point. Some
It's
people,
so tricky, but I love that they're hipster and that it's not like
yeah.
the games we all hear about every day, all the time.
Okay, here's a question. If it was a game that we hear about every day all the time, what would you prefer to have won? Like just completely disregard the games that were chosen. What do you think would have won Game of 2020?
Dwellings of
Good question.
Everdell.
Dwellings of Everdell and
Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah, I like
That game's amazing.
We'll
it's
never
gorgeous.
see it.
yeah, I actually have it
Yeah.
on pre-order.
Good luck.
Well, you might get it someday.
Yeah, maybe. Same game for you, Janelle?
I agree with. Yep, I like that answer.
Okay.
It's so weird because our group got that, Dune, and Arnak all at the same time.
Oh,
And it was like, here's 3 of the best games that came out in 2020. And we just played them back to back and we're like, holy crap.
Wow,
It's
and
not often that you get 3 killer games all at once.
And Dwellings killed it? Really?
Yeah. So our group plays with what we call the rule of 3. We play each game 3 times, no matter what, even if it sucks.
Mhm.
And it's very rare in our group because we have so many games that we play anything more than 3 times. I think we played Dwellings like 11 times,
Wow.
which is insane for us. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
if I
over
had
Dwellings
the
now.
budget, I would have totally picked that one up.
Wow. That's awesome.
I'm excited for it to maybe show up.
It's
one day.
never going to show up.
Yeah.
It's never going to show up.
And my buddy always like he goes like if it's an upgraded option he gets it. So we had the figures that make noises, which absolutely serves no point. I think that's dumb, but and it has amazing table presence.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, you're just making me sad that I'm never gonna get this game.
Just shows
You're just
up.
gonna come with missing pieces.
Yeah, probably. I'm not. No, it's not even. It's not even gonna like show up.
I have a question, Matt.
Yo.
Did you vote off your game first because you felt bad there was a tie, or did you legitimately think that was the worst one?
I actually legitimately think our game was the worst one. was the worst game. I didn't. So as a good answer, I didn't actually care too much about the competition. John did, and he will keep reminding me that we should have chose Gods Love Dinosaurs. But I don't think Gods Love Dinosaurs would have won either. But honestly, Matthias, I have a hard time. I don't want to choose, right? Like I put all the games together, I put everything together. I didn't even want to choose. I should have had the listeners vote from the beginning, so I wouldn't have to make the choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Fair
Castles of Tuscany on that list probably should have at least made it like halfway through.
I agree.
agree
I
with
was
that.
shocked when it went out first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I had a feeling
like-
it was going to, but I didn't think it should.
Yeah. Because I think
Sorry.
it's definitely a better game than Fort.
Yeah.
I
And,
100% agree. Although, to be fair, I haven't played Castles of Tuscany, but I have played Castles of Burgundy.
But you got to remember, it's like the best. It's like you're not the worst game. That's how this works, right?
Yeah,
like the best game's not going to win. It's going to be the game that just kind of floats through. What a great competition I'm running, eh?
So out of all the games that we had, was there a particular one that the two of you were rooting for at all?
Yeah, Tuscany.
Wow, really?
But I mean, when you first presented the list, I was like, Tuscany's got to win it. And then it would, yeah. I don't care for Fort. I just didn't think it was well balanced. And like I said, the dice chucking game, I wasn't too thrilled about that. Although the space game, the deck builder, I looked at the box and had no interest. But the more they described it, that actually does pique my interest a little bit.
Yeah, Outcast was really good.
Aeon's End's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
Aeon's End? Did I say it wrong again? I don't
I'm
know.
sure both ways. Are
Who
fine.
knows? That space game with the deck building mechanic.
I actually bought it on the episode while we were recording it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
The not
expansion
shuffling your deck
type
thing.
thing, right?
It's like a standalone game. It is an expansion. So Aeon's End started a long time ago, and this would be like the fifth or sixth game of it. But it's all standalone.
That's
There's
what
a
I thought.
bunch
And
of
it's the
content.
campaign version, right? Like it lets you play campaign.
They're all campaigns, actually, which is
Oh.
really cool. And then when you finish, you can take everything that you played and you can replay anything. So if you're like, think of it as like an epic boss battle, and you could just replay any boss battle you want. So it's kind of like if you have like a magic, it's a deck builder, right? So, and you have to read all the cards. Every card has a million things. So if you hate those types of games, you're not going to like it. But if you do, then it's a really good game.
Nice. What about you, Janelle?
It was between Merv and Castles of Tuscany because I couldn't decide which one was more grating, either a better version of a game I've owned forever, and that was annoying, or a long game. Because Merv is too long in my opinion, but still really cool.
Yeah, Merv took we played it. I mean, we played on Tabletop Simulator. It took us like 3 hours to get through that, and and we weren't playing it right. I know that from the beginning.
In classic Friday Night Games fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to leave like halfway through the game because my kid woke up and like wanted nothing to do with my wife and was like screaming. So I had to like stop the game like halfway through.
Yeah, you had to stop the game 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Did you at least flip the table?
I should have.
You should have. Nah. I would have reset the table anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, we had to just remove your pieces or something. I forget what we had to do.
Yeah.
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 Merv is a very unique game. It's not. I don't think it's for everybody though. I think that's the problem with it.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it, but I wrote it off because it was so long and it just seems so over involved.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It sounds overly complicated.
Yeah. Unnecessarily.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but Bridge City Board Gamers are the ones who chose that, and they love a lot of games that are complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved listening to them talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
I learned
funny.
so much about the game, and they were so engaged in it, and you could tell that they enjoy it. It was nice to listen to them, and they're very amusing.
Yeah, they're pretty funny. They're really fun to talk to, especially because like Norm sing everything. So
That's amazing.
So when we were recording with him, he was like singing our theme song, and it came to me later. I'm like, we should have had him sing the theme song, but whatever, it was too late after.
I'm sure we could do it one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm sorry that the games you wanted to win didn't win.
I mean, it's fine. It was funny, and it was interesting to listen to.
Yeah, Rally Band GT is awesome though. I know, Matthias, you're not liking it too much, but it is actually a really good game. Have you tried it?
No, and I won't. It's a racing game too on top of it, so not really into the racing thing. And it's a dice checking it. Although my group would probably buy it just to piss me off.
I hope they're listening to this right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure they will.
especially now.
I mean, when I played Rallyman GT with Matt, we only played like one simple game, like nothing. We didn't add any of like the other elements to the game, which was basic. And I wasn't too sure about the dice chucking part of it and like the luck-based turns, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, well, I think the one cool mechanism is that you roll the dice and then you get to like gear down, and I think that that's really cool. So you have to strategize on how you take corners and stuff based on your gear dice.
Yeah.
Like that was the coolest part of it to me.
And the modular board.
Yes, I did get to play a couple games. I played a bunch solo and I played a bunch with Bill. And yeah, we actually did a couple modular boards where we're just like, let's just throw random pieces down. And it was really fun. We made like a really long board. Nice. So that was really fun. He kicked my butt both times though.
The people describing the game were very animated though. I did enjoy that. That was cool.
Yeah, Room 51 does a really good job. They're really funny and sarcastic too. So they like to always say the opposite of what you say on purpose, which is pretty cool.
They were so enthusiastic that it was fun to listen to. I don't really like racing games.
No one likes racing games.
I would never have played this. But friends were playing and they were like, come play with us. And so I did. And I've played it a handful of times and I lose so badly every time. But it doesn't, like, I'm not into it, so that's probably why.
Yeah. I did notice Rallyman GT does suffer from, like, when it's not your turn, you just don't pay attention. So
yeah, and it can be a long time.
Yeah, it could, yeah.
So it's Firefly on a racetrack?
Firefly's like a nightmare game for us.
Bring this up for John, aren't you? He's John's worst experience ever playing a board game was Firefly.
Dude, Firefly is horrible.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you have that opinion. Because I hate it too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You could go play another game in between turns on that game. It's ridiculous.
I did. I went and played Rick and Morty on the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
Like a good chunk of
like
it.
An hour. For an hour, 2 hours.
And then I took a nap on the couch.
Yeah. It still wasn't your turn. That was also with like 8 people too.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I do like the push your luck though. Like I don't mind playing it, but I'm not gonna go get it or suggest it or.
Yeah, it makes sense. I really liked it, and it was actually on my original list, which was cool. So, and I knew Room 51 was going to take it if I threw it at them, so they did.
Yeah.
They took my bait.
I still think it's funny that they didn't actually play in real life, but yeah.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're excited they won though.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
What game of 2020 that you played do you think should have been in the running and won?
I think Godspeed. There's not a lot of people talking about that one, and that one's
a good game.
Yeah.
That should have been on the list.
Why?
Now that I think about it.
Who failed?
That game is great.
I should have just let you choose the game, to be honest.
Well, you gave me a choice of 2, right?
Yeah, I should have just let you choose.
Yeah, I probably would have chose Godspeed anyway, but now that I think about it, I remember
Godspeed
loving that game.
Very good game.
Yeah, it's solid, and there's not a lot of love on that game on the interweb.
You know what? I'm gonna take just because of that, Matthias. I'm gonna take some photos and just throw love at it.
There you go. Good call.
Like for a week.
And it's got amazing table presence too. It's a solid game.
Yeah, it's pretty fun too, and the strategies in it are pretty complex. Yeah, it's surprising that it's not as like popular as it is.
Yeah, because there's like 3 parts to it, and it's just you guys actually made me try it. And
wow, nice. You know what it's missing though? It's missing like a solo mode. That's what I kind of like, because it hit right around COVID, right? It hit April of 2020.
Yeah.
Had no solo mode, so it was kind of like in a weird transition because no one was like, everyone's like, can I go out of my house? Can I play a board game? Like no one knew, right?
Yeah, I can't play solo games because I'm a cheating bitch.
Oh, so am I. I always take backsies my turn. I'm like, that turn didn't go my way.
Yeah.
No one's looking.
Yeah, that's what the computer's for. No solo gaming for me.
What about you, Janelle?
That's tricky. The games that came to mind for me were Paris 1889, Rush MD, Tranquility, and Beyond the Sun.
Nice.
I
I just picked up Beyond the Sun and learned it to play last week, but we never got to it.
No, it'll be this week though.
So
It's like a giant tech tree.
yeah, it looks cool.
So if you hate tech trees, you'll hate the game.
Love tech trees.
Yeah.
I played World of Warcraft for like 10 years. I love tech trees.
Yeah, I think they're fun. But Paris 1889 and Rush MD are cooperative games.
Nice. I've heard of Paris Would you say is it 1980? No,
1889.
Right.
Yeah, it's the sequel to what Greenville, 1889.
How do you play that game, or what's the game about? Sell it to me.
It has like a Dixit mechanic with
Mhm.
cards that have those pictures, and you have to. There's like this big shadow guy trying to eat the whole world or something. I don't know. I don't remember the backstory of the villain. So you're racing him to like claim memories and find clues. So one person like does the Dixit cards, and you have to guess which location is yours. And if you go the wrong one, then the bad guy gets something cool. But if you get the right ones, then you can win the game. It's really hard, but I really enjoy it.
I love Dixit, and that's something I could probably get my. That's something I could probably get my wife to play.
Yeah, there's like no info on Board Game Geek on it either. Just like
Really,
Oh,
it's like
that's
it's a
kinda
game.
sad. Yeah.
no, it sounds interesting, but there's like no pictures. There's like
man.
no reviews or anything.
I guess
Crazy.
I should put that one on Instagram and explain it better. That was kind of a dumb explanation.
No, that was a great
but
explanation because like you sold me on the Dixit mechanic because if people don't know what the Dixit
Yeah.
mechanic is, you're basically taking a card, giving it to someone, and trying to make them guess the picture. Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that I love that mechanic. That's the mechanic of Mysterium Park, and
and Detective Club.
yes.
We have like all those games, so this was just like an insta buy for me.
Oh, that'd be an insta buy for me too. Along with the
I
new
haven't
Dixit.
played Greenville, but there's a new Dixit.
Yes. You didn't know? Get
I
on
don't
it.
think I knew.
I'll send you the link. Yeah, it's coming out very soon.
Nice.
Do those games feel all the same though? Because I know when I first got into board gaming, I went crazy on deck builders, and then I realized I had 30 copies of basically the same game.
Oh, true.
So I like
Lesson learned the hard way.
so you know Dixit's its own thing, right? It's kind of like the original
Sure.
game that spawned everything else, right? You could say that's like Dominion, but
Right.
man, like Mysterium Park takes the mechanic just to another level in my mind.
Yeah.
Because,
I've heard that. I haven't played that one, but
It's
I've played Dixit several
good.
times.
yeah, so if you play Dixit and you probably I don't know, you could probably see what group or who you could play with that would enjoy it. Take that same group and make them play Mysterium Park, and it's just a whole nother level because that's like it's a co-op game and you're trying to guess the murderer, and it is real fun.
Yeah, it's really good. And Mysterium is different enough that it feels like a different game.
Yes.
And it's
That's
longer.
cool. The fact that it's co-op is probably why it doesn't exist in my game group,
Yeah.
because my game group is very cutthroat. And we need to destroy each other.
Well,
like
I
Bill
mean, you
with it
might
right
you might like it because it's kind of like you could so one person plays the ghost and everybody else
Okay,
has
so
to.
if there's a traitor mechanic or something, then I'm in.
Well, it sounds like you would play the ghost and then everyone would
Yeah.
play the other people to just kind of like make fun of you or whatever.
Tell you how bad you are at your job.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
as a ghost, you're giving them clues based on who they are to try and make them guess specific things
Yeah.
Nice.
with using the
And
Dixit mechanic.
Detective Club has that one person who doesn't know what's going on but is trying to blend in.
Oh, that is a traitor mechanic. Yes,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And you have to call them out. I think it's really great, and it works really well with Dixit cards because what? They're all so weird.
I think John's ordering them right now.
No, I'm just looking them up.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't buy any more board games right now.
we
We
actually
play those a lot with my husband's family because we cannot play competitive games with them.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should like we can, but it's just like a different group.
Yeah, I'm afraid to bring competitive games home because like my wife is like she will stab me so hard. She just like she loves beating me at board games. It's like that's like her love language. She's like destroying me at board games.
Her love language is to beat you up in a game.
Yeah. Like we played.
She sounds awesome.
we played that Where Am I? Alice in a Mad Tea Party, and like I added something up wrong somewhere, and she was like, "No, this is what happened," and like whatever, and like changed the equation, and like ended up destroying me by like 30-40 points.
Wow.
And she was like, and like rubbed it in my face. I was like, "Okay, you won. I get it. Like I knew you won 2 rounds ago."
I was trying to win here.
Don't make me cry.
I'm not a very competitive person and I enjoy playing, but if I get into like competitive mode, it's kind of scary. And I'm like, watch out if I lose. I might drive my car into a barricade. Not really. I wouldn't, but that was really funny.
Oh, Craig.
Poor guy. I don't have like table rage or anything, but
That was like an unreal amount of table
yeah,
range.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like when we were playing Catan Jr. with Eleanor, my little niece. She's not used to playing games by the rules and taking turns, and because at her house she could do whatever she wants. Anyway, my son put the pirate on her goat, and she literally flipped the table and threw a tantrum and was freaking out. And I was like, oh no!
Oh man.
Her goats, all she cared about were her goats.
Well,
I love
So
that
we
kid.
had to have a conversation with her about that. I nip that in the bud right now.
you cannot
that she
flip the
doesn't-
table.
Drive your car.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
drive your
finish the
car
game.
into a bridge railing.
Yeah, that's bad.
We know someone who got so angry playing Risk, he drove his car into a bridge railing. You don't want to be that person. That would be like the conversation, I guess.
Be that guy. Yeah, but the second time we played, she did great, and she didn't freak out or get angry, even though she lost. So it was good.
That's good.
That's good.
But it's just really funny to see a 3-year-old flip a table.
Pretty strong 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I would have killed
And
to see
to
a video of
physically
that.
remove her away from the table, she's gonna beat up my son.
I can picture my youngest kid flipping a table when she's old enough to play games.
Yeah, I taught my kids really young, which is good,
Yeah.
because I don't cheat to lose or cheat to win.
I always cheat.
Yeah.
Matthias, and then you wonder why your gaming group always teams up on you.
It was
You
like
have to take him
wa-
out or he'll just win.
it was like watching Bill play Dungeon Mayhem, and I saw him and he was like picking up cards when he wasn't supposed to.
Was he?
Did
Oh,
you see his
man.
hand? He had like 9
No,
cards in his
I
hand.
didn't care.
I was like, "Are you really trying to cheat at this game? That's like super easy to."
I think
just
I
play
think
and
he
win.
knows he's competitive, so I just, it just is what it is. All right. Back to these questions here. What were your favorite moments in our last game standing series?
I really loved the banter between everybody when you had them on with you. Like, Bridge City Board Gamers was my favorite.
Yes.
When they were on. That was great. And it was funny that, you told everybody to roast all the games, but didn't really feel like a roast. It was more just like, this is why my game should win, and they didn't really.
They all did a really good job. I tried to I wanted them to trash talk.
Yeah.
I wanted people
Yeah,
to, which they
nobody
all
did.
they all
I was
swore.
waiting for it.
They all
They did all
swore.
swear.
They're like, I don't know. It's like when you're it's like when you teach little kids a swear word and they're like, they say it like, I don't know. I don't want to swear, but
Yeah.
potato,
They
and
just-
then they're like potato, and they're just like, I use the word potato.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to hear them talking about their games. Although Dice and Dragons, I agreed that they were you could tell they loved that game, but they weren't very enthusiastic about promoting it in this little challenge.
They really wanted to talk about Arnak or Dune Imperium, and I think I just ruined their day because it's
Their hopes and dreams.
yeah, because they really love those two games, and I'm pretty sure they wanted to
They
rep
kept
them.
mentioning that.
They kind of
It was just funny.
yeah, so I kind of sent everyone an email, and I'm like, these are the games I want, but if you have another game, and they kind of were like, well, we'd like to choose, they kind of hinted they wanted to choose those games, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
they're too
Can't have
popular. We know they'll win, right?
So I liked Arnak the first 2 times I played, and then I really didn't like it after that.
I only played it solo, and I have the same experience. I saw different mechanics in it, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With the first time I played it, was really excited about it. There was a lot of cool stuff going on, and it was interesting, and I didn't really know what happened. And then the second time I played it, I figured it out, and then I was like, I don't like this. So the third time I was like, yep, I don't like this game at all.
Yeah.
Which is
Wow, really?
unfortunate.
Wow.
Dune is better. It's just not really my cup of tea, but I like playing it with people who really like it.
Yeah. If you play with someone who doesn't have a good time playing it, it's just not going to be a good game at all. I can see that right away.
Well, that's every game.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. But Arnak
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Arnak also has solo too, and I played a lot of solo of it.
I still didn't like it solo. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually like. I'm with you. I really like Dune Imperium better than Arnak. I'm team Dune Imperium.
Dune
Same.
Imperium, I agree. Dune Imperium's fantastic. I don't even know anything about Dune. I've never read the books or watched the movie, but I enjoyed the game.
Yeah, the game is so
yeah,
well
I
done.
read the book.
And there's an expansion coming out, so that's exciting too.
Yep.
Actually,
Nice.
for both those games, now that I think about it.
Yes. Yeah, I think Dune 1 adds some more characters and something else I was
A
reading about today.
battleship.
Yes.
Nice.
Did you play both sides of the board of Arnak?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I've only played the
Okay.
one side.
I didn't really see a huge difference. The one temple was more complex or something, right? I think that's all it really was.
I think it's with the higher player count. I think that game is way more interesting.
Oh, really?
That
maybe
is
that's-
true.
Maybe that's the fallout there. I don't know, because I think
But
it's a
it
great game.
wasn't-
I think it's a great game too, but I just think Dune Imperium is better. I think that's just my.
Oh yeah, Dune Imperium. Dune Imperium is more of a gamer's game, where
Yes.
Arnak I think you could teach to non-gamers pretty easily.
Yep, I agree with that. So maybe that could have won easily the competition, right?
Well, that's why I wasn't here. We already heard about it.
Yeah.
The other thing was the pizza in the backpack. I loved how that was a thing, like every episode. And how they were like, I would put pizza in a backpack, so I don't understand.
Oh,
And I've seen
Megan.
kids put pizza in their backpacks, and it's weird, but they do it. But I relate to John's thinking on that because I do the same thing. Like, one disgruntled comment that's kind of weird about a game, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I don't like that game.
Oh, really?
For no good reason.
It's not that I don't like Fort. It was just like I just read that one review and
Dude,
I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the only thing you think for the ever after.
Yeah.
And so every time you see or hear about the game, you're like, oh, that comment. I get it.
wow. I tried to just not listen to those things.
For a while, that game was talked about a ton, and then it's kind of
Yeah.
disappeared.
It disappeared.
So in like content creation land, it's like a lot of people get the game and then they just review it and it gets like a lot of publicity and then
Yeah.
afterwards they have to move on, right?
I don't
Yeah.
know anybody who owns it.
We own it.
Okay, I know somebody who
But-
owns it.
We legit own it. We bought it.
But how often will it hit the table? Probably not very often. Would be my guess.
We played it a lot just because it was like the first game we streamed for when we started doing Twitch, and then we just played it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I actually like Dominion better though.
Yeah.
So I'd rather play Dominion. So you're right. It's not going to hit the table as much.
The way that Megan and Tristan talked about it made me appreciate the game. Like, it didn't make me want to go buy it or play it, but it did make me appreciate the game for what it was.
Yeah, it's cool that they had such a genuine excitement about it.
Yeah,
Right.
I love how much they loved it. And they were actually like being a bulldog in this little competition and they got knocked out.
Yeah, they were actually like very angry at me because I think I voted their game off. So they were super. So we had like a side chat and they were pretty upset. I'm like,
That's funny.
I'm sorry. Like,
It made me wonder if we played the same game because they were so excited about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
they play the same board I played? 'Cause
yeah. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
What about you, Matthias?
that was the thing, the enthusiasm over some of these games. I was just like, wow. Area 51, like that girl is just, she's crazy.
Oh,
That's funny.
room 51. Room 51.
Yeah, Room 51. That's what I said. You misheard me.
Oh wow, that's Matthew Melissa. That's what she goes
Yeah.
by.
Yeah, they were so like very into it, which
They're-
even though I wouldn't ever buy that game, but I would game with those two just because they're funny.
Yeah, you should watch their Twitch stream. That's what their like bread and butter is, and
Yeah.
they're funny. Like Melissa will always like read the chat and just like make fun of you, which is like super really funny. Like I'm on it. I'll go on it occasionally, and I'll just like say a comment, and they're like, "Oh, Windsor Pizza's here. Windsor Pizza." They trash me for a little bit.
Now I'm just getting hungry.
Funny. The only Twitch stream I've ever watched is your guys's, actually.
Oh man,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good day because there was like a bunch of people on that night.
Yeah, there was a
That's
bunch
fun.
of people.
But yeah, I could see that everyone's genuine excitement about the game is pretty sweet, except for when Dice and Dragons was not totally into their game at first.
Yeah.
but they sold it later on. They like talked it up.
They
a lot.
did. They got into
Was that
it
the deck building game?
That was the space deck building game.
Eon's End.
Yeah.
But then you have Matt and John who were like, I don't know
They
what this
immediately
game is.
vote
Don't
themselves
vote it off.
Yeah. Well, we went in with the idea of just being like funny about it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Because we knew like
It worked.
we were just we kind of knew like our game wouldn't make it all the way to the end because that would just be kind of weird if like, hey, this competition would go and our game wins.
Yeah, I actually was
Yeah.
hoping to vote our game off. I
Yeah.
really was. So that worked out.
But yeah, I love Castles of Tuscany. I've actually been wanting to play it
Yeah.
again. So
But I wanted to vote it off the second one because when we did the theme one, like I thought our answer was just hilarious. Like
Yeah.
I listened
It
to it
was.
again, and
I loved
I
it.
couldn't stop laughing at my own. Like, yeah, I do laugh at my own jokes. I really do.
it's okay.
It's funny how you kept talking about how it was a streamlined version of Castles of Burgundy. That was the reason, like, because I don't ever read instructions. I have a guy who loves it, because you either love doing that or you don't.
Oh yeah.
And I don't. So I have a guy that loves doing it, and I give it to him to learn it because Ravensburg sent me a copy. And he's like, why would we play this? He's just like, it's an easier version of Burgundy. We don't need to
Yeah.
play this.
Well, that's why
Oh.
it's good, right?
Yeah.
That's why
according
I
to
wrote
him,
it
it's
off.
Oh. Well, I think it's like when like you mentioned the gamers game, right? I think as a gamer, people always want that like more complication to their games, right?
Sure.
But
He
not
gave it back to me unopened. He's
unnecessarily.
like, this is the same game, just like for kids.
Man.
That's awesome. I mean, he's not
Yeah, I
wrong.
like the idea of it, but
Yeah.
it's like I've had Castles of Burgundy for how long now, and now there's a better version or a easier version.
Easier version of
Where
Teach.
was that, 20 years ago?
Yeah,
not
exactly.
20,
Why are we
but-
going backwards?
Yeah.
Maybe people will play this one first, be like, oh, I want something a little bit more challenging.
so. I hope
and then
so.
Maybe go buy Burgundy, right?
I think it's like a one or the other deal. Like
Yeah.
this is either your cup of tea or Burgundy's your cup of tea. But they just released like the big box version.
Oh, Burgundy?
Yeah.
Oh,
With
yeah.
all the
I actually
expansions
own
in
that
it.
one. Yeah, I own that one.
Yeah.
I played that one before Tuscany, and I like Tuscany better just because I can explain it a lot quicker. When we played Burgundy, I felt like we were playing it for a really long time.
It does feel like a long time.
Tuscany kind of ends quickly, so you can get a couple games
We
in.
play the roll and write now. That's like what we always
Oh, I love I
grab
love
when
roll
we're in the
and
mood
writes.
for that.
Cartographers. That's my favorite roll and write. It's good.
Yeah, like Burgundy, Castles of Burgundy, the dice game or something.
Is that good?
I like it, and I can play by myself in like 10 minutes. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
I have the Catan dice game, and that one's pretty good. It's fun.
Nice.
someone was talking to me about those, and they were like, "The dice game's great, and then there's the card game, which I don't know why it exists." Like I didn't know there was a card version.
Is it Katana card game itself? Don't you have to like trade cards?
Yeah, like what is this?
That's great.
I have actually never played a full game of Catan.
Really? You didn't
Yeah.
like it, or your group didn't want to play it?
I think it was kind of a game that's already been like overplayed by the time I got into board games, and nobody really ever wanted to play it. And so
Yeah, I
now
probably
it's just
played
a
it.
status thing to say I've never played it because that's like the game that got everybody into games. I'm like, nah, I've never played that.
It didn't get me into games, but it is a good game. I do recommend playing it because especially like some of the newer versions, like the Star Trek one's pretty cool because you have like a character card who does abilities. Or like I played the Game of Thrones one, and that one's cool because like the wildlings just start taking over territories, and then you're fighting off people and these wildlings all at the same time. It's crazy.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good version for sure.
I've played Catan over 200 times.
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
Oh, when I was
And how
growing
do you
up,
feel about it?
I still play it. I
Wow.
still play it. We just played the Star Trek version
Nice.
like last month.
That's a good one. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about exactly.
Yeah,
It's probably
It's
super
good.
hard to get though.
The Star Trek version?
Yeah, like is it
I have
because
no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
We
'Cause
bought
I
it for
would-
my sister, like when it came out.
Mayfair used to have that, then Mayfair went under, and then somebody else picked it up, and then it got picked up again. So I don't know who even has it anymore. But that's the only reason why I've played little bits of it, because at Gen Con you used to be able to like test that game, and you collected these ribbons to get a game half off.
Nice.
So that was the only reason I ever played it
Nice.
for like 5 minutes. But now Mayfair's gone.
You guys played the Game of Thrones one at Gen Con, right?
We did play the Game
Yeah.
of Thrones one at Gen Con, yeah. The board game library. That's where we played it, which is a lot of fun. Okay, so what did we do well? We'll start with Matthias on this one. What did we do well?
You picked very animated guests, so I would say that was done well. You didn't vote off the right games at the right time though, but
No, we definitely did not do that well.
yeah.
the guests. I actually just reached out to the people we were closest to, and they all happened to be pretty good guests, to be honest.
Yeah, they were all very, and I'd never heard of any of them, to be honest. So that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Cardboard Conjecture was the only people I'd heard of before, and that's because of you guys.
Wow. Yeah, I recommend all of them. Room 51 are probably our besties. But Cardboard Conjecture is awesome. They're so fun.
I will say, if you are interested in Star Trek Catan, you can get it on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think it exists in our gaming group, but I'm not 100% positive.
Fair.
I kind of consider my gaming group basically our open library, so
Yeah,
we
we
only game with
More
each other. There's
people
no
were
reason.
like that.
Well, we like when Rising Sun came out, we all kind of got together and realized that we all backed it, and we're like, why did we do that? Because we only game with each other. No lie, there's like 9 copies of Rising Sun within our group. And we're like, that was the dumbest move ever. So now we have our own private Facebook channel where we're like, okay, I'm backing this, and so nobody else backs it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
I highly recommend everybody do, because there's no reason to have 15 copies of one game
Yeah.
It's true.
in your group.
And then you can have more games and access
Exactly.
to more stuff and more room in everybody's library.
Yeah, you just borrow or trade, right?
Yeah.
Swap.
Yeah.
It's
But we only
beautiful.
game with each other, so
That's kind of how we are too.
yeah, I noticed that you and John do that, so which is smart.
Most of the time, unless there's a game that we like both really want, like when I got Arnak, John really wanted Arnak, so he bought it. Which I tell him he should have just taken mine all the time. Like, go sell yours, I'll give you my copy, or I'll sell mine. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever.
Buy
So
more
yours.
games.
I don't think it's as hard to get as the other two. Actually, even Dune is pretty out there. I think the Just Dwellings is the hard one to get.
Yeah, I think because they were so popular, they became more available.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they were hard to get originally. They were hard to get in
Right.
January, but now they're very easy to get.
Not Dwellings, though, I don't think.
No,
Nope.
Dwellings, I don't know. I might have to
Yeah.
like rob a
If you
store.
missed that boat, you missed that boat.
Yeah.
What about you, Janelle? What did you think we did well?
I really liked this idea. I liked that it was hipster games, and I also agree that you got really good people to come on. I think if it was more people, it would be easier to not just vote off whoever's game wasn't involved that week.
Yeah, true.
But it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of scheduling.
When I think back, I should have had the 2 people, because it was just 2 people by accident. Like, a lot of them,
Yeah.
that's just what all the content creators were. But when I think back, I should have had them fight on the show for what to vote for. I think that would have been more entertaining.
Yeah.
I think the original idea was we were supposed to do like were we gonna do like a Twitch thing?
We were
Or,
going to
like,
do a
video
Twitch
or something.
Yeah, so it was actually going to be like a Twitch stream. Everyone would have been on the show at the same time.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It would have been, but man, it was hard
That's a
enough to
lot of
get
work.
everybody to send in their content all at the same time. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way we're going to get together. Like,
Yeah.
Scheduling.
I think if you did it again, you should allow us like on Instagram to vote. Like you should at the end of the show. Okay, we'll let you know who won next week.
Like
And
an
then put
Instagram vote.
yeah,
I agree with
Noted.
that.
let your fans vote instead of.
Get some
Then you would
outside
know.
votes.
Then you would know the actual winner as opposed to just how something got there at the end.
I agree with that 100%. I think we definitely should do that next time.
Yeah.
We definitely should have definitely should have the listeners involved more in some sort of way.
Definitely should keep doing this. This is really awesome.
I agree.
I'll rig it to make it win whoever I want to win, but
You're just gonna get a bunch of bots, Matthias. You're just like having them
I'm
like
gonna
vote.
create an army of our evil jerks to just vote the way I want it to vote.
Nice.
Man, why is Castle Panic winning the game of 2021? I don't know what's going on here. Okay, is there anything either of you hate?
Kind of the voting was a little bit sad.
Complicated? Yeah, it could have been better. I agree. And I think Matthias I think both of you gave a good suggestion, right? Like to have the audience more involved. What about you, Matthias? What did you hate? Lay it into me.
What did I hate? I wasn't a big fan of how certain games got voted off and how a dice checker won.
She just hated the whole series then.
Dice checker shouldn't have even been in one of the best games of 2020. That shouldn't be a thing.
So like as a note, I think 4 of the games were basically like remakes, right?
Yeah.
Rallyman GT.
Yeah,
Fort's actually another game. You could look it up on Board Game Geek. I don't know what the other game is.
Re-implemented.
Yes, and then Aeon's End was also Aeon's End is just an expansion, right? So
It's like an expansion.
There's like 50 of those.
There's so many.
there's like if you get the campaign boxes, there's like 5, 6 maybe. But yeah, there's a
Yeah, like I
lot.
said.
Okay, then Castles of Tuscany was Castles of Burgundy, right? So the only real
Yeah.
original game on that whole list was Merv.
I mean, it almost won,
It did, yeah, it did.
I have no interest in that game either.
but it is gorgeous, and I do love the idea of it.
Yeah, it's a game you have to play like over and over and over. I think that's the
Yeah.
problem. You can't just play.
Well,
it
you
once and be
you
done.
need somebody who's really like you said, that's really into the rules and wants to teach it and stuff like that. Because I would look at that rule book and say nope, and just it would sit on my shelf forever.
Yeah, the rulebook
Yeah,
is
like we could
super
play it
complicated.
with Cardboard Conjecture.
Yeah, they should have teaching sessions. There we go.
There you go. It's on TTS.
I
so.
still feel like it's just long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to set like 3 to 4
I don't
hours
know.
for it. Especially on TTS, you have to set like an tabletop
Gosh.
simulator. You have to set like an hour per person. That's what we.
And then
noticed.
add half an hour for me messing everything up.
Just add another half an hour.
I don't mind a long game if it's fun, but if it's
That's
just a
true.
rules and rules, that ugh.
Yeah, it's rules inception, that game for sure. But it's one of the games where like I said, you have to play it several times only because the rules have rules, and it doesn't make sense until you understand everything after a second or third play. You know.
You nailed it on the head when you said that was a problem with Root. Like that's why I didn't like Root so much either. Because
Yeah.
in Root you have to know every character because
Yeah.
each character is different, and you're just like, ugh,
Yeah.
too
It's
much.
the same reason I didn't get on the Merchant Cove train.
Yes, Merchant Cove is another one. Yeah, it's hard. Like Root, I really enjoyed it when I started playing it solo because then that taught me how to play the game properly. And the Merchant Codes I haven't touched yet.
Yeah, when you played it solo, did you play it like online solo?
No, I played it all board. I have like the Clockwork expansion, the original one.
Okay, because I know they have an app, so I was wondering. Well, they have it on Steam, so I was wondering if it would. Because I do know sometimes when I play games on Steam, that I learned, oh wow, I've been playing this game wrong the whole time.
I have done the same thing.
Same here. The route on Steam is actually awesome. I actually watched Room 51 play it, and yeah, it was really good. But the only thing is they don't have all the expansions for it yet, so that's the only thing I would complain about because the new expansions are really good. The one with the moles and the birds, I think those are like super good. Like it's a really good expansion. What else did you hate though?
What else did I hate?
See how I turned that back?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm easily entertained. I don't know that I hated any. There wasn't enough like smack talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely could have used more of that.
Rules of entry, smack talk ability.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. Like most of us were Canadian, so I think that's just what happens when you get a bunch of Canadian people together. It's really hard to like.
Oh, you need to add an American then.
That was Room 51. Which is why they're like they're really good at like high energy and
Sure.
Like, you don't have to be mean to people, but you should be able to be like, nope, this is why this game is going down.
So I think that would have been better if we did that as like a video thing where we're all kind of together.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
that would be good too.
It would have worked better. Because I
And-
can understand not wanting to smack talk.
Yeah. It's hard though. It's just so hard to get everyone together. Like that's just it's on me.
That's okay.
It's on me. I'm just gonna
This is
throw it out there.
this is our first run in it, so we can figure it out. Do some different things next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I smack
I
talk on
think it was-
everything I play.
It was a good first go.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. I guess the next question is like, what did we do wrong? We just kind of answered all that.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess on the other hand, what could we improve on in the game? And I think we hit some of those. We kind of hit at some of those. Like, we should get the audience more involved. 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Like have them vote on our social media platforms, combine the votes together.
Yeah. If you knew what games where you were going to have, you could release those early too so we could play them.
Oh, yeah. That's actually, so Canada, so okay, so I'm just going to, full disclosure, I ripped this idea from something called Canada Plays. And
Canada reads.
Canada Reads.
Yes.
Sorry.
Every time you said that, I thought you were saying Keanu Reeves.
I did too.
Confused.
Yeah,
I was like, what the heck does Keanu Reeves have to do
we
with
stole
anything?
this from Keanu Reeves. Well, he's Canadian. So there you go.
Yes, but I was like, what did he do that was so amazing? And then John started explaining it, and I was like, oh, Canada Reads.
Canada. Sorry, I guess I'm like mumbling. Yeah, Canada Reads.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Every time.
I ripped off the whole idea from that, and when Canada Reads, there we go, does it, they actually release the books, I think it's like 3 or 4 months ahead of time, so that all the readers can read ahead and then listen to the show.
Right.
So that is definitely an amazing idea. We definitely should do that next time.
So we have to start planning it now.
I am actually going to.
And maybe like audience input on the list. Like, what do you think should be on this list?
I actually did do that on Twitter, which is why a bunch of
okay.
the games, the bunch of the games were actually on the original list, came from a lot of people who I said, hey, what do you think is the best game of 2020? And I actually got like Honey Buzz, and I got Rallyman GT, I actually had a bunch of those on there.
Honey Buzz is a good game. I forgot about that one.
It is a good
Yeah.
game. Yeah, it's one of the games that just gets like, no one remembers it.
No one knows about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I looked up Board Game Geek because I was like, I don't really remember what came out in 2020. Well, over 4,700 games came out in 2020.
Right. Exactly.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah, but then with that list, you can order it by number of plays, and that's kind of what I did to help choose it. And then you can go to advanced search, which if you click on the search, click on advanced, it lets you choose 2020 to 2020, and then you can narrow down things like it has to have so many ratings, like 300
Yeah,
ratings.
that's what I did 2020 to 2020, and it had to be a base game, and I still got 4,700 games.
Yeah, there's a
There
lot.
was one called Cows in My Pants,
Oh.
and there was one that was about potatoes on bicycles.
I wish someone would recommend that. I wish a content creator would have chose that. I would have been like, yeah, it's on. Let's do it.
I have no idea what they are, but they were there, and I was like, this is impossible. I'm never going to get through this. So I just had to remember things.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, we should get more audience involved. Yes, we definitely should release the list ahead of time, which is why I actually think I have to start planning the next one, like, today. To be honest.
It's hard to know what's coming out in 2021 though. So
well, okay, so let's I guess this next question involves what we're talking about. So if we did a last game standing again, what would you want done differently? Who would you want to see on it? But also, like, do we have to do the same theme? Like, I did best games of 2020. We could
do something different.
Yeah.
You should do like best
best
game.
classic game that people haven't played in forever.
Boom.
Yeah, that one.
What were you gonna say, Janelle?
Like card games.
Yeah, deck builders or
Pocket
like
games.
or like what's the best, like, I don't know. Wow, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, but that
Filler
kind of
Yeah.
could get dexterity games. Pitch car is better than Rallyman.
Oh, it's another one. Yeah, Justin said that too. John's writing to me. He says best classic game you haven't played. Oh, he's writing down these ideas.
Yeah.
I get it. What he's doing.
Yeah.
That's as far as I
You could
got
also do like best games nobody can buy.
Yeah.
Dwellings of
Oh,
Eldervale.
Well, and like Palaces of Carrara and Pitch Car is really
Yeah.
hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, that's
too,
what
so.
Justin. On that episode, Justin was saying to like go to a dark alley to barter with someone.
Yeah,
who
I
had a
saw
gun.
Pitch Car Mini for sale, and I was like, oh, I should pick it up, but I didn't. And then I went back and it was gone. I was like,
yeah.
dang it.
Makes sense. But yeah, so we could do a theme. We could honestly do a theme. Like, it doesn't have to. It could be like, what's the best Euro game of all time?
I do really like the best hipster game of, the year.
Yeah, I would do that
idea.
again, but that would probably be like 2021 next year. And of course, there's going to be no
Yeah.
games this year because of shipping container problems. So
I just got that Dice Miner game and it's like a year and a half late. But I didn't care. I got it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're finally getting them, but man, it's just like, you just feel so bad.
Yeah.
People don't know that shipping containers have quadrupled in price, so shipping is super expensive now.
Right.
Yeah, so what would you have done differently, or is there someone you want to see on the show? I don't know. Throw it at me.
You should throw
get Ryan
Redford
and
on the show.
Natalie or Ryan and Jen. Oh, yes.
Redford rants.
Yeah.
Redford.
Yeah, we'd have to do video for that, I feel.
That's true. Yeah, everybody like, what?
Yeah, yeah, they know. Yeah, we're like we like every minute we're like he's a puppet. By the way, he's a puppet.
Yeah, he's a little red puppet. So when he talks about certain things, well, if you didn't know who Redford was,
Right.
then
Right.
he wouldn't make a whole lot of sense not on camera.
Right. Yeah, we'd have to like I don't know. There'd have to be some sort of visual component to our podcast. I don't even know how that would work.
We would just have to do video.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Or you could do a mini one with just Redford, like on Instagram.
Yeah.
So go to the government, be like, hey, this is our idea. Get a grant to get this
Yeah.
on national television.
By the way, John says this every episode.
Fly in some American guests.
If only.
And
Rent some hotels.
Rent some hotels. We could do it.
Windsor Pizza for everybody.
You guys are better than like 85% of what's on TVs.
Thank you.
I'm down.
Like, can we get that in writing?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that
want
was
me-
that was her statement, not mine. Just so clear.
That's funny.
Do you have something nice to say there, Matthias? Are we better than 90% or 30%?
Maybe 30.
30. I'll take the 30.
I'll take it.
There's a lot of good stuff on Netflix.
It's true.
It's true.
So Redford rants. Anyone else? What else do you want to see?
Trying to think.
I think it
What
would be
would it
fun
be?
for you to have game casters on there. I
Yeah.
think they'd be
Oh,
good
game
at this.
casters.
I think
Yeah.
it would be fun to do have the Gamecasters group, like have from the network.
Natalie and Jeff and Ryan.
Yeah, get a bunch of people from there. That could be like another set of people.
Yeah, because Date Night Dice, Ben and Emily would be really fun too.
Oh, yeah, they would be fun. And they actually live not too far from us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They live in Michigan.
Yeah, they live in
Yeah.
Michigan, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's far, but a couple hours. But
I really want to do it in person with people, but it's hard, right?
yeah.
COVID causing us problems.
No kidding.
Not in America. We're done with that crap.
That's
Drives
what I
me
heard.
crazy.
We're getting there. We're getting there too. We're
That's
getting
what I
there too.
heard. Oh man, do you think we should have people on who know nothing about board games? Do you think that would be fun?
Ooh, like your dad?
Mm,
Like I reach out to some celebrities. I don't know how this would ever happen,
Oh.
but
Celebrities who know nothing about board games.
so everybody you talk to, they're gonna be like, "You mean Monopoly?"
Yeah.
everyone's choosing Monopoly.
Yeah.
Like,
We should try to get celebrity guests on each episode.
It would be funny to hear somebody trying to defend Monopoly against like real games.
oh, that's not a bad idea right there.
Yeah, it could be fun. Or Yahtzee, or I don't even know.
Oh,
All of those garbage ones.
another dice chucker.
I don't think Yahtzee's garbage or Monopoly, but I mean,
we just get a group of people like celebrities, and we're like we give all the other people like the real list, and then we just give the celebrity like Monopoly, Yahtzee, Sorry, Trouble. Like,
when your wife was praising Cranium, I was like, no.
or you like Cranium?
I don't. But
Oh, it's okay.
actually, hearing her explain it that way, I was like, oh, I get it now. Now it makes sense.
It's all like, honestly, it's all like people love board games because of the experience they have with people, and that was an experience she had with her family, right? So that's
Yeah,
why she
and I
loves
could
it.
see like in college with friends, Cranium would make sense.
Oh, it was like the only board game that was available back then. It was
It's
like
true.
that or Risk.
I mean, I know I grew up with this too.
Yeah, it's
I like didn't play games with anybody except my family because I'd be like, "Ooh, we're gonna play Castles of Burgundy," and people would be like, "What?"
they're like, excuse me?
Yeah, we're going to get pizza and watching a movie, and I'd be like, "Well, fine, I'll play by myself."
Oh, which you could, so that was good.
Yeah, so I just stopped asking people. But
Yeah.
if I had had party games, probably would have been a different story.
Yes. And the party games are amazing nowadays. Like people are missing out.
Yeah.
Have you played Donner Dinner Party? Because
No.
that is a good time.
Donner.
You're trying to dinner
I'm
party. You're
related to
trying
the
to
Donner.
figure out who the cannibal is.
Oh wow.
That is a good time.
Nice.
Sounds fun.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
it's a blast.
Yeah, Unusual Suspects is my #1 played game last year.
Nice.
It's old though. Yeah, but like Herd Mentality and Masterword, they came out last year. They were really good.
There was actually a bunch. Like I guess Hughes and Q's is like I liked Hughes and Q's a lot.
Oh, that's true.
That one.
I liked it until I played it with certain people, and then I hated it.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, Hughes and Q's, Masterword. I feel Dice Tower actually had their awards, so they had like 5 amazing party games listed. All right, well, now that we know that Last Game Standing is the best thing everyone's ever listened to, we're definitely going to do it again, and we're going to figure out how to make it even better next time.
Nice.
I'm excited for it, and I hope you're excited too. On that note, let's flip the table, and both of you can ask us some questions you want answered. Who wants to start?
What game got you into gaming? Like, what was your gateway game?
I think I know what John's going to say. John's going to recap the story. You know what? I'm going to do John, and John, you're going to do me.
Okay.
That is the weirdest statement I've ever heard in my life. You need to edit that one out.
It made sense in my head.
It made sense to me.
Yeah, me and Janelle, I think, on the same page here. It's math brain. John's going to say Dead of Winter because he didn't really know board games were that complex until he came to my house, until I invited him over. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, and we went to a comedy show together. I invited him over to play board games. We were playing Dead of Winter, and it just blew his mind how good that game was.
Right.
Am I right?
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Yours, Magic the Gathering.
Okay, look, I've been in and out of so Magic has been just something I've been in and out of for a long time, but I wouldn't say that's my board game.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that as a board
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I don't think Magic the Gathering, like you guys said earlier, it's its own thing. It's not really
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
in the realm.
I know.
it was before board games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know we've had this discussion before. Yeah, I really don't know, to be honest.
All right, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Basically, it started when I started researching games to play on Fridays. So we used to play a lot of
Right.
video games or watch movies on Fridays before. And one of my friends, so when I started my new job, I started talking to one of my friends, and she used to work Gen Cons. So she actually
yeah.
recommended
Okay.
Ticket to Ride to me.
Oh yeah. Behind
So and then from Ticket to Ride, I started looking up Will Wheaton's Tabletop, and that got me into Kings of New York.
Woohoo!
And so it was like Kings of New York, Ticket to Ride, and there's one other game in there.
you. Wasn't it Epic Spell Wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then before that, I kind of saw this one game that really drew my attention, and I bought it because I knew my wife would love playing it, and that was Machikoro.
Nice.
So that was kind of like the real start, and then meeting one of my best friends right now. She basically like got me into the whole board gaming thing through her Gen Con experiences.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Nice. So you haven't been in the board games super long then.
Not really. No, maybe like, wow, how many years has it been? 2 plus maybe like 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have like I basically play a ton of Magic, so I played that for a long time. But that just helps with rules.
Magic is really good, but you just have to chuck so much money at it to be any good.
You know what we used to, and then as kids we used to spend more money, and then when we grew up, we actually just printed. Hopefully, Wizards of the Coast doesn't kill me, but we used to just print paper and stick it in card sleeves, and that's how we'd make our decks. That way, we didn't have to pay for anything but the card sleeve and the cards you put in and paper. What about you? What about you two? Let's throw that question at you two. What game has really got both of you? Your gateway into gaming?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Wow.
Yeah, it's a super old game. Like nowadays, people wouldn't even look at it because the components are just like boring. They're just like cubes and stuff. But it is a really, really good game
It
where
is
you're
great.
just developing your plantation and stuff. But I played that once and I'm like, I gotta have this game, and been hooked ever since.
Nice.
And then I played a deck builder and I was like, deck builders are the greatest. And I bought like every single deck builder out there. And
What deck builder
that was
that?
that was the biggest mistake that I've ever made. And I'm telling every person getting into gaming, do not do that. Don't
Yeah.
like.
What deck builder was that, by the way? What was the one you played that got you to buy all of them?
Oh, to be honest, and it's a terrible one. It was a Star Trek one, and it's not even that good. But it was just the whole deck building thing was such a new concept, and it was
Yeah.
just fun buying your cards every time. I was like, this is awesome. Then I went Dominion crazy, and
Oh,
I bought all
Dominion's
3 of
great,
the
though.
Star Treks.
Nice.
Dominion is great. I bought all the Lord of the Rings, and
Wow.
and then I was playing, and I'm like, wow, these are all the same game. I've got multiple copies of the same game.
Wow.
So yeah.
What about you, Janelle?
I've been playing board games my whole life. So as a little kid, we played Black Box, Mastermind, Connect 4, Battleship, and then we had all the standard, like back then, bog standard board games, but we'd make up our own games with them because we thought they were pretty dumb.
So did you just continue on from that? Like, did that just become?
Yeah, We've just always played. And so it's like I remember when Catan came out and how exciting that was.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I played that terrible Star Trek deck builder.
Well, I would say like Catan for me too, because my wife and I played at a friend's house for like a dinner party. We played Catan, and then we went and bought the game afterwards, but we didn't realize it wasn't a 2-player game, so we bought it, and it's like so we never really played it after we bought it. So oh well.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
Bonanza was another one that we played a lot.
Classic.
I don't know, I just kept going. And Castles of Burgundy was the first big boy game I bought all by myself. So, I don't know, I just always done it, I guess.
Bonanza is a game that is very underrated. Every time I teach that game, everybody loves it, but
It's so
people will just pass it by because it kind of looks dumb or it looks like a little kid game.
The art is not my favorite.
No, but it's such a good game.
It is. We have all the expansions, and we've honestly never used them.
I've never played any of the expansions.
Don't bother.
I don't think it needs it.
No, it doesn't. Some of them sounded pretty cool, but I've only ever tried them by myself, and it's just, don't do it.
Matt and John, have you played Bonanza?
No,
I have not.
I've not, but now I think John's buying it.
Oh, no.
Oh, it is.
So good.
You definitely need more than 2 people to play it, but it is.
Yeah.
It is a super good game. Every time I teach it, like I actually just taught it in our little over weekend getaway not long ago, and everybody loved it.
Nice.
That's funny that guy brought that up because my group's been doing that for years, renting a cabin and gaming for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
I think that's
family,
amazing.
too.
Oh, really? I think that's amazing. I think it's just like that's what people should do.
But like growing up, nobody really played board games or knew what they were. You know, they had the dumb ones or they just didn't. And so it was just family and friends together and go play board games all weekend because it was really, otherwise we're just playing with us.
Right. Sweet. So, Janelle, what question do you have for us?
Did you send the winning game a trophy?
I did not send the winning game a trophy yet. I think we have to send the publisher a trophy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like a certificate, even in the post, would be funny.
No, I think like a giant annoying trophy that they have to put together.
And a
They'll have no idea what it is. Like, what the hell?
It's gonna say like, "You are not the worst game."
Yeah. It was funny. I also, so your FOMO episode is like one of my favorites, and the one where you talk about Everdell. Do you think that quarantine has affected that?
Oh man, I don't know if it's fear of missing out, but my board game collection like grew so much during quarantine. I don't know if it was just like, actually I do know. I was very stressed out this year. And I'm a very big stress buyer. And the problem is my wife is too. So we've been like both amassing giant amounts of things.
Yeah.
And it's been insane. So I don't know if there's games I'm sort of like had a FOMO over. I think it was just like I just saw it and needed it at that moment and just like bought it.
I think we're seeing a lot more than we would otherwise too.
Yeah. I don't know about
Because
you.
my collection also like exploded. And it kind of sucks because I think that if COVID wasn't a thing or like quarantine hadn't been happening, I wouldn't have bought half the games I did because like I would have tried them at a cafe or played them at a friend's house or something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I bought that I was like, I need to have that.
Yeah, like is there more FOMO because of COVID?
Well, there's definitely gonna be more FOMO now that the shipping containers are going up by like 5 times. Everyone's gonna be like, I better just get any game now because there's gonna be no games in like
Actually,
6 months.
now that I think about it, I did back when I backed Wonderland's War by Skybound Games. I only backed it at the $1 level, and then I kept it there for a very, very long time. And then I was like, you know what, Bill? You know, I know Bill backed it, but he doesn't come to all the game nights anymore. So I was like, well, I probably won't see Bill every time. So I ended up doing like getting the base game, and then I was like, well, I want all the miniatures. So then I upgraded to the miniature one, and then like,
Did they make noise?
No.
Not worth it.
Lame.
And then I was like, well, if I have the miniatures, and I like hummed and hawed over like everything about the chips, the upgraded chips, and like the last minute, like the day the pledge manager was closing, I upgraded the chips.
Nice.
So I have like the entire game. So I think that's probably the only thing where I was like, I feel like I need all that, and I probably won't. But I mean, at this point, I've already spent that money, and they'll probably ask for more money to send the shipping container over. But whatever.
Yeah.
Is
Or
what it is.
they'll come out with a game mat, and you suddenly have to throw $30 more at it for the game mat.
Ugh.
See, I don't have any
Yeah.
places to put game mats, so I have been really good with not buying those.
Oh, but they're so nice.
I know.
Yeah. Every time I'm at a convention, I always get jealous of the game mats they have on the table, but
Oh, I love game mats.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was gonna buy one at PAX South, but I forgot to.
conveniently, though.
Yeah,
It's good. We didn't have any room in our suitcases after trying to go home after that.
that's true.
So then do you think that there's like more of a high in just buying a game versus like having a new game to play?
Oh, there is a huge high in buying
Yeah.
like a game, and it definitely has to do with fear of missing out because you're like, oh, I got this game and this is great. Like I look at my shelf and I have a bunch of games on there that I'm like, oh, this game, I'm so excited to get it, but I never actually. It's still sitting there.
Yeah, I think for us
Yeah.
in Canada it might be a little bit different because we don't see games as quickly as the US does. So we have to pre-order our stuff, as it comes out in the US, and we don't see it for months later. Hence why we don't have Dwellings of Eldervale yet. What other? There's a recent game too. I've heard. Wasn't it like Bonfire you just got?
Well, Bonfire I got because they're waiting for the reprint of Monikers to
Monikers,
send
yes.
me my package all together, right?
Right.
So
Have you started reading the rules on that?
on Monikers or on?
No, Bonfire.
I was like, there's no rules on
'Cause
Monikers.
there's a lot of rules to Bonfire too. I handed that off to my
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
That
no,
one's intense.
Oh, on our table right now we have Beyond the Sun and Cryo. Cryo is ready to go, and then I'm gonna set up Beyond the Sun tomorrow.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, you'll get all the rules I missed.
Yeah, together we should have everything.
Yeah.
It is like an interesting downside to this hobby of like you never quite know if you don't buy it now if you're going to be able to get it later, and that's really annoying.
Yeah, even when you look at like the Dice Tower Awards, which hint that will be our next episode, it's interesting because like this is probably the first year that I've actually played most of the games, but I'm also like these other games I don't even think I could get.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Nidavellir was another one that was available in the United States in like January, February. We didn't get for like 4 months later.
Right.
But yeah, it's tough. It's just like and it's hard to know too. Like you're relying on content creators to kind of lead you to the games, but you don't know how true to those games they are.
Yeah. You have to find people you trust, definitely.
Yeah.
People who will give honest opinions and not just praise everything.
That's hard too, though, because if you like trash a game, then other companies
Right.
see it, and then they're like, "Oh no, we're not gonna send a game to that guy."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
on my page, if you ever see me just post the game like I just tried this game and don't talk about it,
You
it's
hate
a
it.
good sign to not buy it.
Yeah.
If I just tell you how it's played and that's it, don't get it.
Yeah.
But if you see it on my stories and stuff, then I really liked it.
Yeah,
We're the
we
same way.
we actually stopped asking companies to send us stuff.
Yeah, I did too, because I got bombarded.
We got
Yeah.
bombarded, and we were just we weren't playing games for like us. So now we're at the point where
Right.
it's like we're just buying games that we want, and like obviously if someone wants to send us stuff, we are happy to
I say
take it.
no, you say yes.
I only say yes to certain
Certain people,
people now. But yeah, it just got to the point where it was too much, like all at once, and I just want to be genuine with what we're excited about. And even if it's something we're not excited about, we always try to find something
Who it's for.
who it's for.
Yeah.
We might not like it, but if you like, if you're in college and like prank calling people, you'll like this game, like I'm in my my late 30s, right? I don't need to prank call people. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of independent like makers, and it's like this is their first project or something, and you just like because this is their dream, and you're just like, this is garbage, dude. you need to just flush this.
Yeah.
I got a game like that now. The guy's waiting for a review, and I'm just like, this is no.
No.
Like that. This isn't even a game. Like, what's wrong with you?
I wish there was a better communication of where you could give constructive feedback and they wouldn't take it so personally.
Yeah, that's
Because there
yeah.
are good ways to say the negative things and there are good ways to review things you don't like. But there isn't really a good way to tell someone that their game is bad. Like that it's just a mess.
Yeah, I would love
like
to be
Scott
meaner on my
Pillen?
page.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like I'll never forget when it was on a Facebook board game group and someone posted a game. I forget what it was, but it was like something to do with like the pandemic, and they posted, they were like super stoked about it. Everyone's like, no, too soon, man. Like, this isn't a joke. People are dying.
Oh, it was
blah,
at the
blah.
very beginning of the pandemic, and it was like something with COVID,
not
wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they like deleted everything. Like their
Yeah.
whole web presence is gone now. So I guess there's ways to do it, but I don't know. It's tough because you don't want to hurt. I mean, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but especially if they're small publishers. But I think if you're gonna make something, you need to be open to that constructive criticism, because not everyone's gonna love your game.
So Fossilis is the most broken thing I've played in a really long time, and I like playtest games with my brother.
Mhm.
And that's like, okay, it's fully produced and put out, but it is so broken. Wouldn't they have rather released something good? I don't know. It's still on my shelf because it's so beautiful, but we had to like house rule it to death. It's not the same game.
Oh wow. Well, and that might just come from them not playtesting it enough, or them not getting
Yeah.
the right feedback from it.
Or maybe they ignored. I have no idea, and I don't like want to rip on them or anything, but it's
Yeah.
so bad.
What was the game again?
Fossilis. It was
Never
really
heard of that
popular,
one.
and people were reviewing it. I guess I see it because I had this experience. But people would review it, and I'd be like, we didn't play the same thing. And I'd reach out to try to talk to them, and they'd be like, well, we didn't really play it. Or they'd be like,
Oh,
I don't know
snap.
what you're talking about.
Oh, snap. Whoa.
Yeah. Like,
That's not
what do you
good.
mean?
Sometimes when you say stuff, even if it's honest, like I had a lot of beef with Rising Sun,
Mhm.
and I kind of posted some of my beefs, and even Jamie Stegmeyer replied on my thing, and he wasn't too happy with me, so I was just like, okay, I'll back off a little bit. But the upgraded components on that game were awful.
Mhm.
And I was griping about them because you like the colors were so dead on with each other that you couldn't tell them apart.
Mhm.
So you had all these cubes that were on the board, but everybody had to pick up their cube and hold it up to the light to see what the color was, and it was terrible. And the game is just not good.
I mean,
Wow.
sometimes games aren't good.
Yeah.
It's
But when you're
frustrating.
that big of a company, you should just relax a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
you sold a bunch of them, dude. Get off my thread.
Well, Jamie's a good guy.
If a couple people don't like it, doesn't mean everyone's gonna hate the game,
Right.
right? Like, there's haters and lovers of every game.
I think there was a lot of people griping about the components, and I think he was tired of hearing it. But somebody also got on my thing and tagged him and asked him what the deal was.
Oh no.
So, and then he kind of got really defensive on my page, and I'm like, dude. And he's like, the cubes don't matter. It makes no difference. And I'm like, they kind of matter.
He probably got
But-
too much flack. He's such a great guy.
Yeah. He
Normally,
gets-
he's totally fine with that kind of thing. But
Yeah, he says he's fine with criticism, but I
mean,
don't know.
Yeah,
usually
he
he
wasn't
is,
that
but
night.
yeah.
I must have caught him on a bad night, but
Well, Red Rising is his the game he's always wanted to make, right? So maybe he just
Maybe.
like
yeah,
took it personal.
yeah, and that's why it's frustrating to me, like to play test really good games, but I can go to the shop and buy like 30 bad ones.
Yes. Yeah.
well, I don't recommend that one.
I actually just
Okay.
played it the other week. It's okay. It's not I don't know. It doesn't feel like a Stonemaier classic, unfortunately.
That was another
No,
one I
it's
thought.
just there's way too many cards, and you have to
Yeah.
rely on cards to come up, and they just don't because there's 50 billion cards.
I didn't even
Yeah.
think the game. I don't want to rip into it too much. I don't want Jamie to hate on me. But but
Oh,
I
He already
don't.
hates me, so it's fine.
I don't think the game, like, I didn't see how the cards really played into the game at all, or
Yeah.
like the cards played into like the books. Sorry, I didn't really like see it.
I never read the books. I think the card work is beautiful.
Oh my god, the card
And
work
the
is
card-
It is
amazing,
beautiful.
but I just
Yeah.
didn't like, I didn't understand like how, like, I didn't read the books either, but I didn't really understand why this was a game. Like, it just reminded me of Love Letter. It reminded me of a very complicated version of Love Letter.
Yeah.
And played it.
I mean, there were literally colors that didn't even come through the deck. There's so many
Yeah,
cards.
I saw
It just-
that. I'm like, oh, you need a blue, and I'm like, I don't have any blue on the table.
Yeah. Like it just didn't work.
Yeah, I could see it being a better game with a lot more people, but it sounds like, I think you probably played it with a bunch of people, right?
We played it at 4,
Oh,
and it
okay.
still just wasn't. I don't know.
Sorry, Jim.
Jim Gamer on on Instagram. He gave a really good review of that game, and I wish I could remember what he said because he mentioned some of those things and how he made it good. Like with the game.
By
Oh.
playing a different game, putting it on the shelf.
Like how he enjoyed the
Here's how
game.
you make this good. We're just gonna
Yeah, I
put
don't
this
know.
away.
Break
Pull out
out
his better
Scythe.
game
I
called
remember.
Viticulture.
It was a good review. But I didn't get on the Red Rising train at all. Like that was
Yeah.
another game I just wrote off.
Yeah.
Good call.
I had to play it because it was a Stonemaier game, but I don't know. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel as good as the other games, and it's weird too because people said they didn't like Pendulum as much, but I actually love Pendulum. So I don't know.
I thought Pendulum was okay. It was pretty good.
He's one of those guys where I see a lot of reviewers. They just love his games no matter what.
Well,
I'm
they're
just
like fan. They're like fan people. They're like fanboys.
Yeah, and I'm
right?
like-
yeah.
no, that game sucked. Like, you can be honest. Like,
It's okay.
yeah, not
People ask me
everything's a home run. So
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
People ask me about Scythe a lot because they're like, you have an unpopular opinion of this game. Can you talk to me? And then they're like, yeah, I feel the same way. But how come no one else is saying this?
I'll be honest with you. I actually don't really like Scythe.
Yeah.
I thank you. I can't stand it.
I actually
It is
really
a-
don't like it. Like I played. It's weird because I actually like Tapestry, but we played with a group who did not like it, so I understand why people don't like it. And then I played Scythe a bunch of times solo, and I'm like, I actually don't like this game.
Yeah.
I actually think it's not very
I
good.
played it a lot of times because the Bountiful Board Gamer on Instagram, I used to work with his wife. He taught me Scythe, and I was like, okay, this, because they love it so much. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I can figure this out. I played it like 15 more times, and I was like, it's never gonna get better. It's never gonna be good. This is not.
Here's my view on Skype, and every time I say this, people agree with me. It is a 4-player solo game. Everybody's playing a solo game together.
I agree.
Well,
You just-
Yeah. So there's no conflict because it's way too costly to do any conflict. I'm like,
Yeah, you have
this
to
is
fight
not-
somebody to get a star, but like you can do something weird in the corner of the board.
yeah, like it's just I don't know. I don't get it. I don't
I
get
mean,
the pop. You
and I
got these
did-
awesome mechs and you can't use them.
I know.
yeah, the mech.
I
Yeah, the
did
mech
have a
art's
good
sweet.
time playing with those guys because they loved it so much. But it's not an engine building game. Everyone says it is. I'm like, this is not an engine builder. This is like a race game, which is
Yeah,
also
it's a
probably
race-
why
it's
I
a-
hate it.
Territorial.
Yeah,
It's like it's like area control. That's what it is to me.
But it's like not. It doesn't really matter how
You
much
just do whatever you want.
territory you have.
Yeah, it just
Yeah. And
It's
when
a
someone
4-player
just
solo
keeps
game.
stealing all your resources, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, well, what is this? I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. I'm happy that it's well loved, but I don't like it.
it looks really cool on the table though.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Too bad you're not
it's
actually
beautiful.
fighting.
But My Little Scythe, I really like.
I played that at Gen Con and I enjoyed it, but I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I had the game and I played it with my kid once, and I liked it.
yeah.
Yeah. My kids are a little bit older, so they get into it. It's really fun.
Nice.
Cool.
One more question for you guys.
Go for it.
If you could give everyone else on the planet except you a superpower, what would it be?
Everyone except me?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Oh man, that's a hard. Everyone has superpower. I don't even know what to answer.
Okay.
I would think the only thing that's coming to mind is the ability to live one day longer.
Well, like everyone could live one day longer.
One day, get like one extra day. But they would know it. Like I get one extra day to kind of do.
I was just gonna say
Do
everyone
whatever,
has an
you know?
extra hand, and I don't.
Everyone's so you're the freak.
Yeah.
That's funny. But you
my
don't
buddy
mind
just
being
texted me to let me know that there's 11 hours left for Scarface. Have you seen that Kickstarter? Because that looks amazing.
I did. I didn't back it though.
I haven't been.
He's trying to get me to back it so he doesn't have to. we're both like watching each other to see who's going to back it.
Just go
so-
halvesies.
I think Matt and I are on a Kickstarter break.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not
going
gonna get any games because we're in Canada, so
Yeah.
shipping to Canada is really expensive for us.
I love Mafia games. Speaking of which, if you haven't played Godfather by Eric Lane, oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Nobody talks about that game either, and it's so fun.
Oh, you did recommend that game to us before, yeah.
We should do it. We should do that.
It's an area control. I would kind of describe it kind of like Lords of Waterdeep. You kind of everybody takes like an area and gets resources, but there's also like car bombs and ways to get people off, and it's a high conflict game. It is a blast.
Nice.
So there was
Highly
a print
recommend it.
and play. It's called The Cleaner that I really enjoyed for who knows why. Where you're the cleaning up after the mob bosses, all the dead bodies and stuff.
I thought you were like cleaning the mob bosses, like they're eating spaghetti and you
Oh,
gotta like,
trimming their beards.
yeah,
Not when they're eating. That'd be gross.
clean their food off their shirts.
No.
All right. Thanks again, Janelle Mathias, for joining us on our 100th episode. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the both of you. Do you guys want to plug where your handles are? Again, go for it.
I'm EvilJerkGamer on Instagram. That's the only place you can find me.
Nice.
I'm EmotionalCyborg on Instagram and
Awesome.
everywhere else.
Thank you again so very, very much. If you like what you hear, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FridayNightGames_official, Twitter at FridayNightGMS. You can check us out on our website, FridayNight.Games. We also launch a podcast every Friday. So don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or follow us on your favorite streaming platform. Again, I'm John.
I'm Matt.
And it's Friday night, so let's have some fun.